First of all, I really want to say welcome to all the new members who've joined us recently. And hello, the paradigm shifters. We are really grateful to have you here. And we love your energy. So I hope this series is helping you. And if you are watching later on for the replay, so do let us know by putting a hashtag replay. We would really appreciate that. Now, in answer to your question, Inia, so as the name of the series suggests, the science of wealth, it is truly, there is truly a science to getting wealth. Doesn't matter. We're not talking only the financial, we're talking about in all areas of your life. And who it is for? It is for those who wants results. It is for those who really want to unleash their hidden potential. They know they got it, but they're just feeling stuck. It is for those who wants to get rich in all dimensions of their life. This series is for those who has tried working hard all day and years long, but with no or little success. It is for those who are really seeking for a time and money freedom. It is for those who are serious. So not here just to entertain their mind, who are serious and committed to achieve their financial goals, breakthroughs, regardless of what their current circumstances are. So I hope whoever is watching, you do meet that. And well, if it is, you're at the right place, my friend.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I know it can be so easy sometimes to get focused on what we see, the low bank account balance, the failing economy, the empty pantry and lack of resources for valid expenses. In my country, it is school fees season. And I can tell you that a lot of anxiety has begun to build up in the minds of people, like, how are we going to make this happen? So just kindly share with us, before we go to how, riches can come to people, but can you just share how people can learn to live from the inside out? What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I love this question. It is so easy to get stuck in this trap of being controlled by your senses, by, what you see, smell, taste, touch, hear, by control by what we are, which is really directly connected to our mind. And we don't even realize, especially in this world where this technology is so fast and we have got everything on our phone, we can do everything, banking, everything, we can do it on the phone within a few seconds. Because we can do it so fast and we are so used to it now, we want everything fast and we don't even realize we are reacting so fast as well in response to what is happening around us. And I would say one of the data I was reading, so about 97% of people do feel that way most of the time. Where they are reacting to the senses, where, for instance, when I'm saying by senses, what I mean is like, you mentioned in your question, Inia, when you see there's no funds in your account, when you see, well, there is no food in the pantry. So obviously you're seeing things, right? You're hearing things. So that is controlling how you feel inside, then you feel lackness. So that is how you're being controlled. But what we should be doing, so you're living from outside in, right? So by controlled by the senses, and then you're living from outside in. However, what we should be living as is inside out. Now, what does that mean? When you're living from outside in, you feel like that you have no power. You're only the victim of whatever is going around you. Then that's where you lose your power and you can't really do anything to change that, but you just wait for the outside circumstances to change. You feel, well, one day the miracle is going to happen, it's going to change. It doesn't, right? And that's not true. So what you need to be doing is you need to start living from inside out. So, and this is, one of the big thing we coach at Paradigm Shift Institute how to live inside out, because that truly is, there's a scientific way of when you live that way that really take you to riches. And you have to master that. Now, how do you do that though? Now, I'm just going to give a few examples as well. So firstly, let's understand what is inside out. So regardless of what the balance and things are telling outside in the results, you don't let your senses to change how you feel inside. In other words, you know that you have got the power within you, that we are not going to let our results to control our thoughts. However, we're going to think into results. So we want to think and feel the way we want to get in our, what the results we want to get in our life, not other way around. So that is living from inside out, where you are thinking the thoughts of what you want, not about what you don't want. You're feeling the way what you want to feel, not the way other way around. So, because if you keep doing outside in by controlled by the senses, then what's going to happen is you're going to be vibrating at a very low level. You're going to be vibrating at exactly where your current circumstances are. Now, what does that mean as of the, law of attraction, how it works? So whatever vibration you're going to be vibrating at, you will be attracting the same results. Now, we don't want that, right? So we want to, regardless of what we see in our balance and everything, we want to achieve the results what we want. So what we should be doing, because everything is on a certain frequency. I'm sure you have heard Bob or me, we talk in the events, so that how there's so many number of the frequencies, and when you go from one to another, they're all connected. So if you're here, that's where your current results are, that's where your current account balance is, and you want to go there, you cannot keep vibrating here. That means, what is vibration? It's a feeling, right? So feeling is a conscious awareness of the vibration you at. And if you're not feeling good, that means you're staying here. Now, to go from here to there, we need to vibrate there. And there's so many ways to do that, but one of that is to live inside out, that you are thinking and feeling the way you want to feel. You want to think. So you're deliberately choosing your thoughts, and you're not being controlled by your senses. And when you do that, that raises your vibration instantly. And then when the vibration is raised, you attract all the right things. You attract all the right resources, the ideas. And one of the other way to lift that vibration would be, and one of the other way to start living from inside out would be doing the gratitude. That can be as simple as that, being more grateful for the things you already have in your life, instead of seeing the lackness, seeing the abundance. I hope this answers.
Absolutely. I love this material so much, because every time I listen to it, it just kind of opens my mind to the power that I have, that I don't have to live by the whims and caprices of events and conditions in my life. So I believe that someone who is watching this today, who is in that kind of a position, now understands that we're not supposed to live from the outside in, but from the inside out. Powerfully answered, Daniel. So I know that this next question is one that everybody wants to find the answer to. How do riches flow to us? And just before you come in, we always learn here that there has to be a certain way of doing, successful people do things a certain way, right? So we want to understand there must be a certain way that draws riches to us, and we want to understand what it is. So go, Anna.
Yeah, no, thank you. I love this question, because I think it's such a common, I think that's where people get really blocked. And I would say, obviously, there's a number of perspectives we can go about that, but I want to talk about two of them today. So first is, I would say, look at your belief first. around the richness. And I know we talked about a little bit last episode as well, and that's such a huge part until you really check and evaluate your own beliefs around whatever the goal you're wanting to manifest. You won't really, that's kind of your blind spot. So you can't do anything about it unless you know where the issue is, right? So firstly, look at your belief. That what is your belief around money or the financial goal, if we're talking that in specific. So what is a belief? Belief, it's an idea which you have thought over and over and over again. Now, once you've thought of an idea over and over again, and you have created a perception of that idea based on the results you have achieved in the past of that idea. Say, for instance, around, again, money, and you have been doing 9-to-5 job, and you've been earning a certain amount of income in the last 5 years, and you kind of know, well, this is where my, you created this belief, this is where my worth is, and this is how much I can earn, right? So round about that. So that's the kind of the belief you created based on the results you had in the past. Now, but it doesn't have to be like that. The belief can be changed when you pause and reevaluate. The belief doesn't have to be based on our past results. We can change that. Now, say, for instance, you tried something, I don't know, like say you tried to start a business in the past and it didn't go well. And then it kind of made you feel, that's not really just for me. I'm not really a business person. I should just keep working as an employee. Then if you kind of block yourself from that past experience, then that is a blockage, right? So this is going to be something which is going to stop getting those, the rich results in your life. And so once you're aware of what that belief is, what that blockage is, and then obviously we need to remove that. That is one way. So once you remove any blockage belief around your goal, that is how you will be attracting the richness in your life. And I usually talk about that. The best way to really understand and illustrate this situation would be like the results, the abundance you're seeking in this world is here. It's right here. You can't say, well, there's no money in this world, or there's no happiness in this world. It's there. But you feel blockaged because there is a blockage in your belief. Similarly, say, for instance, you are watering a plant, and the hose is connected to a tap which is at the back of the house, and the garden is at the front of the house. Now, while you're watering, that hose, which is bringing the water to the plants, that gets kinked on the way. Now, if I was to ask you guys, that tell me that now the water has stopped, where is the blockage? Why the water has stopped? Is that because the tap is turned off, there's no water at the back? Or is that because of the kink? It's quite obvious, right? That you would be like, it is because of the kink. It's because of the blockage. So what would be the first thing you would do? You can't question, oh, there's no water in this world now. No, water is there. The blockage is at the kink. So the very first step, the logical step you would do to remove that would be to go back and really, fix the kink and remove the blockage, and the water will come. Similarly, when you know what your belief, the blockaging beliefs are around your goal, we need to work on to remove those. The abundance is already there. It's going to flow to you when you remove the belief around that. And that is, I think where most people get stuck, because they don't realize what beliefs they have really created around their goals or the financial situation. Until they remove that, they can't really have the result. Now, the second way is by giving more to the people around you, whether they are clients, whether they are family members or friends, whoever. So by giving every person more in use value than you take from them. That's another way. That's kind of impression of increase, we call it. So and because we're not talking only the financial result, we're talking in every aspect, right? How richness will come to you, whether it's a relationship richness or, whether it is financial richness. So that the belief was one. The second one is by giving more in value than you take from the other person. That is always going to create this momentum in your life that is always going to keep you vibrating at the level where you need to be to attract all the richness in your life. And I really, I was reading something recently. I think that's probably more relevant to the belief, what we're talking about. There was a lady who was wanting to get to an event, and she didn't have enough funds, but she had created this belief that she was definitely going to be there at that event. And how did she create that belief? By holding that image in her mind with faith that she was going to be there. And she didn't have money. She wasn't sure how she was going to get there. And she attracted a phone call from a friend, and they were just having a chat, and she expressed her interest, how she was wanting to go to that event. And this friend offered help, and she said, I'll buy a standby ticket for you, because there was no tickets available online, and she was offered a standby ticket. And then she said, yeah, sure. And then she went to she went to the airport with that ticket to board up in this plane. There was no seat. She couldn't. Second plane, no seat. She was waiting for hours in the plane. Now, for an average person, it would be so easy to really get set back with that it's not going to happen. And she would have given up, right? But what she did, she really had created that image in her mind with that faith, having that belief that no, she was going to be there no matter what. No one can stop her. She was going to be there. She was so strong. And then she called her friend, the same friend. She said, I've been waiting here for hours. I don't know what to do. What do you suggest? And she said, the friend said, maybe you can go to the reception and ask them, instead of you waiting here, if you go to another next near city and try to catch the plane from that place, would there be more chances of getting a seat in the plane? And she said, yeah, I should do that. Now, obviously, she's holding that image. She has a strong belief that no one can stop her. She's going to get there. And she's taking all the inspired actions, what is coming in her mind, right? Now, she goes to the reception and she told this lady that, hey, can you just help me if I go from this city? Do you think that would be, more likelihood to get the seats in that plane? And this lady is like, okay, what are you actually wanting to achieve? And then this lady is telling, okay, this is the city I need to get to. I've been waiting here for hours. I can't get the seat. And the staff said, give me a couple of minutes. Let me see what I can do. Now, 2 minutes after, this lady said, okay, ma'am, I think we got you sorted. There is a plane leaving in about an hour, so we can take you in that. And obviously this lady was surprised that, okay, now where the seat has come from. And she was like, yeah, sure. And when she walks in the plane, she was the only passenger in that plane. And the staff, so there was obviously the airline staff, the pilot, they were there. And one of the staff, they had to do the safety instructions only for that one passenger. So she actually went in there like she was there in a private jet. She got to the event. This is the power of the belief. Now, you would say, okay, this is richness come to you, right? When you have that strong faith, this belief that it is going to happen, she attracted that lady who had a kind heart, who was willing to go extra mile to find a solution for her. Now, that plane was not a, it was not I think that was probably kind of they had to do some within the airline work or whatever, they had to do that for their own. It wasn't for the passengers, but they helped her. So she went there with the luxury of being an only passenger. This is how you get the richness. Yeah. So I'm sorry I got a little longer in there, but I really love this example. This is such a perfect example of how to get richness in your life. Now I'm going to ask you one question, Inia, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Yeah. So, you know how, okay. One of the thing I actually feel is that people really get hung up with what they don't have, you know, and they really, in my journey, I've understood the power of the gratitude, you know, we talked about. And when it comes to wealth creation, and as a, you know, a coach myself in this industry, I frequently connect with people who focus so heavily on their lack. They don't really see what they have. They really focus on what they don't have. So what are your views on this, Enya?
Okay, before I answer that question, I love the story you shared just now. It was so powerful. And you know, we always learn, you know, Bob says it, you say it, how much gratitude, how high on the, you know, on the frequency level that gratitude is. So I have been a culprit of that, where you tend to look at only what is happening in your world and you forget all the things that are actually working, you
Yeah.
know? And before now, I would literally feel so gripped with fear because of what my eyes could see. And I would interpret life based on living from the outside. I mean, we can't pretend that there's money in the bank when there's no money in the bank, or you can't pretend that there's food in the pantry when there isn't. But you know, I find that the more knowledge I got by the material we learn here and all of that, and I learned how to intentionally put myself in an environment of abundance in my mind, thinking about all the things that I have. I mean, look at the air around us. That's abundance right there. You know, you look at the skies, that's abundance right there. So we are surrounded by abundance. So I have learned to use my imagination and create that feeling of abundance within. I imagine my wish fulfilled. You know, we're practicing these things. We're not yet there, but I can already see the changes happen. You know, I begin to see opportunities that would handle that need, you know, that presents itself. And, you know, as much as I'm practicing this, and it's baby steps at a time, but, you know, I was just thinking a few days ago and telling myself that, girl, do you know that this year you have earned thrice? No, it's more than thrice my earnings over previous years. Like, I was just thinking to myself, wow. And I know that as, you know, my paradigm shift, as I continue, you know, applying the material, my paradigm shift, and I apply it, I know that it's going to get better. So honestly, learning a new way of being and doing can be uncomfortable and unfamiliar initially because of our conditionings. But you know, keep at it, because when you keep at it, the easier it gets. The testimonials here are real. People who I share these things with come back to tell me the testimonials, how their lives are shifting, things are changing. So I must tell you that I'm deeply encouraged when I see these things, and I tell you that I'm enjoying my life. It's not like you don't have to deal with life issues, but generally, you know, you now understand how you can raise yourself up again. And I think that's why PSI is here. And this is my favorite school of all time, I can tell you. So Anu, I'll just close with this before you share the activity for the week. You know, Bob often says that we are the only creatures on the planet who are totally disoriented from our environments, that even nature is more adaptive than we are.
Yeah.
But we are the ones that have been gifted with these incredible mental faculties through which we can create the life that we want. So this really got me thinking that we have been programmed to rely on our physical senses, touch, smell, taste, and we forget that we can build up on these other faculties that are directly linked to universal intelligence that guide us and give us the answers that we need. So I just want to share with everybody, we need to consciously begin building that awareness so we can harness and leverage on this divine creative power that we have. And this applies to everything. And that's why what we teach here is so powerful. And I know that even you who are watching it, just the value we share here can testify to what we do here. So, Anna, over to you. What are we leaving our listeners with for this week's activity?
You're not here only and changing your mind, you are taking the action. So since we've been talking about the how to get the richness in your life, how to be really vibrating at the vibration of your goal, and one of that is the gratitude. So the action for this week is everyone who's watching live or who will be watching replay. So first, you're going to let us know by hashtag replay where you're joining us from. 2 is that you are going to reach out to 3 people in your life today, in next 24 hours when you listen this message, that you're going to reach out to 3 people in your life you are grateful for, and you're going to say thank you to them, whether it is by phone call or a message or email. So the people you may not have shown them so much of appreciation, what they really mean to you, and you probably have gotten busy, or maybe, you know, there's a bit of a dispute and you're not talking, but you really do feel gratitude toward that person. You're going to reach out to them and say thank you and tell them why they are important in your life. And really, when you're going to pass that energy to them, and even you may find if there's some dispute or some, you know, there's a bit of an issue going on with someone you're not in contact with, but when you're going to be sending this message, that why they're important and what is best about them, you really love about them, you're focusing only the best part of them. And then I really want you to notice when you're doing that message, a phone call, an email, because energy is going to flow through you first before it gets to someone else. So once you've contacted those 3 people, you're going to let us know in the comment down below that done, who that was for. You don't have to tell us the relation. Maybe you can tell the name, or you can say mother, friend, whoever that is. So, but once you've done that, you are going to let us know in the comment here. So we know that you are really taking the action, and trust me, that is going to help you to vibrate at the level of the frequency, how you're going to be attracting the richness to you. Now, I do want to include with this very beautiful little poem I came across relevant to this gratitude and the exercise you're going to do. You know, especially when you feel that, you know, you have lackness around you and you don't see the results around you. And I think this poem addressed so beautifully. It says that be thankful that you don't already have everything you desire. So be thankful. Amazing, right? If you did, what would be there to look forward to? Because if you already had it, right, what would be there to look forward to? Be thankful that when you don't know something, it gives you the opportunity to learn, to learn more, right? So be grateful, you know, be grateful for that. Be thankful for the difficult times, because during those times you grow. Be grateful for those people who said no, because they have helped you grow. I really love that, because it truly is. When you start really getting in this art of gratitude, you don't really see the lackness, you see goodness in everything. So I hope this has helped. And please do take the action and let us know in the comment.